Good morning. Good morning again.
Good morning.
Some of you don't look happy, and we are young, and there is all the future ahead of us, and we are in Amref International University. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dancan, Irungu, like it has been said. Today I am dressed in a tie. We don't always dress like that. At least the university registrar was here. Even though our phone is seated here, the head of the health systems department, they are not in a tie. I dressed this way for you. I also see the head of the community health. Jan is also not dressed in a tie. Not to mean that they should, but I'm just trying to say I dressed up for you. I thought that would make you feel nice. Yeah, thank you for this invitation. You have got a very special place in my heart. And I mean it. And that's how I therefore take this invitation of being one of the keynote speakers very seriously. You've already been welcomed to Amref International University. I have no intention of doing that again. It was said that we are an African university. We have a focus and bias in health and sciences. When we are a Pan-African university, it is because we believe and we know, and it's true, African people, they share common opportunities, but also challenges. And that is not different for the youth of Africa who are gathered here this morning. So we welcome you, and we are so glad that you are here today. And I would like to begin my small address by reading a little story of a gentleman that you know, or you heard about, the late Imani Maruge. In this book, it is written, Imani Maruge, a story of vision and agility. The late Imani Maruge holds the Guinness World Record for being the oldest pupil to enroll for primary school education. He was a Maumau fighter in the Independence War against the British. When the Kenyan government announced free universal primary education in 2003, he went to Ketuio Primary, his local school in Everett, and demanded to be taught how to read. I don't feel like my eyes very good. If someone can do something about it. Against fierce opposition from education officials and parents who did not want a precious education of partnership being given to an old man, Imani Maruge was accepted into the school to run alongside 6-year-olds. He enrolled in class 1, January 12, 2004, at the age of 84. He had a vision of learning how to read the one book he had always yearned to understand all his life, the Bible. In 2005, Imani Maruge was a model student. He was elected head boy of his school. In September 2005, for the first time in his life, Kimani Maruge boarded a plane and headed to New York City to address the United Nations 2005 World Summit on the importance of free education in Africa. I followed his speech from the start to the finish. He spoke in part Swahili, but a lot of it was Kikuyu. His address was televised in many international media houses. Kimani Maruge died on August 14, 2009 of stomach cancer at Kenyatta National Referral Hospital in Nairobi. In the year 2010, a movie entitled First Grader was released in his memory. Kimani Maruge has taught us that there is no limit to what we can do if we are not afraid. And that nothing should ever stop us from pursuit of our dreams. Not age, not race, not language, not education, or professional qualifications. This story, I bring it up because this is a gathering of young people. I bring this story up for the challenge of all of us. No one is listening to me reading this story who is likely to have the age, at least for you who are here, have the age of this man. It is a story of one believing in themselves. You have given the theme of this conference, activating youth leadership towards realization of UHC in Kenya. So I think leadership, but I also think UHC. All the youth in this grove that have had an opportunity to step into the table of leadership, many times they did not do it because they were invited to do that. But they stepped forward and they joined that table. But they also say, you can be on the dinner table as three things. Number one, you can be on the dinner table as a waiter, serving the guests. I hope you don't want to be that. But you can also simply be on the dinner table as a menu. And that's so true. So that when the conversation of youth, healthcare, and demographic dividends in Africa is shared, it is the statistics of the numbers of you that you would be one of them, and you don't want that. But you can also be on the dinner table as a diner. You can be on the dinner table as a contributor. You can be on the dinner table on this subject at which you have chosen as a significant other. That place, many times, is not given. People are not invited, but people can step up, and I have no doubt that you'll be able to do that. Now, you know the challenges of UHC, Universal Health Coverage, and I have no intention of mentioning those challenges. You know them. The challenges of health financing, access to health. You know these challenges. You know the challenges that which relates to treatment, the challenges which relates to rehabilitation. You know all the challenges that the challenges that we have. But because this is a conference for you and health, you know, keeping people healthy is the greatest challenge of people who are in healthcare and not treating them. Keeping people, keeping our populations, keeping the nationals healthy and not treating them. So I want to challenge you. What role, what is that position you love to take so that you significantly contribute in that space? Creating awareness about the need for health care. At the Independence, the founding president, Kenyatta, declared war on three enemies of progress. You know them, isn't it? Three enemies of progress. And enemy number one that he talked about was poverty. Number two, disease. And number three, ignorance. If Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was speaking today, he would have added a fourth. And I would love to say, without any contradiction, that fourth one would be corruption. That fourth one would be corruption. We have very significant challenges in health. Like in health financing, access, lack of proper systems that which would ensure that we have got delivery of healthcare programs efficiently. We have got problems like that. But one of the greatest problems that which we have in healthcare in Africa is that disease called corruption. Did you hear about COVID billionaires? Did you hear about that? Millions, not millions, billions of money went into people's pockets. Money that which was intended to go to fight COVID pandemic. Some few years back, I was involved in a program for Global Forest. And it was funding something called institutional strengthening for a national malaria control program for some countries in West Africa. So I did 8-term evaluation for NMPC, for Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Chad. At this time, Ebola was at its peak in Sierra Leone. 75% of the money that was given by development organizations to fight Ebola in that time, it went to people's pockets, documented. You know what I'm telling you that? It is because Africa and the world is looking at the people who are seated here to change the space of healthcare. The people who are seated here, the youth who are seated here, you are the people who are going to change that. Corruption is a big challenge. But you must have courage to fight this. You must have courage to come and sit on the table. It is not going to be easy for you. Now, let me tell you why it is important for the youth of this country to step forward. Let me tell you why I congratulate you for being part of organizing a conference like this. And I will tell you this with statistics. Africa has the youngest demographics, the youngest population in the world. And the average age of an African, do you know what that age is? 19 years. So an average African person is a youth. In European countries, in Europe, the average age is 44 years. That's the reason why every child, every African youth must have the courage to step up and start for a cause like the cause that which you are starting for here. But sadly, Africa has 3% of the global GDP. You know it is the largest continent. But we only contribute 3% to the global GDP. But you know, 10% of every household in Africa goes towards health financing. Because we have not yet got to a time when our national insurance programs like NHIF are fully working. And you know, one of the things that which NHIF does not do, it does not care, it does not cover for palliative care. It does not. Of course, it's a great program, but we are still miles ahead. Poverty is still ravaging Africa. You have got a significant challenge as African children and as African people, African youth, to rise up and step up. Listen to this. Africa reaches 18 years with 40% potential. An African child, by the time when they are saying an adult age, young adulthood in a lot of African countries, and not just Africa, in many other countries, begins at 18. We only achieve 40% potential when we are 18. In Singapore, at 18, they achieve 87% potential. Can you tell that entry gap difference? Very significant. The job for the youth of this country is cut out. Just like for the leaders of governments and other organizations. They say, to help the poor, one of the greatest steps to help the poor is to ensure that you are not one of them. One of the greatest steps to help the poor is to ensure that you are not one. I pray and I desire and I hope that all the youth who are participating in this conference, they will not be counted among the poor ones in Africa. And if you are in a church setup, that is one of the places where you say, Amen. Yes. And seriously and honestly, you know, it is our desire, because we must economically be able to step up as the children of Africa and as the youth of Africa. It's important for us. It's important for us. So I'm calling you to demonstrate courage. Don't wait to be invited into the table. Step forward. Take leadership positions. I saw a conversation we had in the Senate wall, and Dr. Obone posted. I remember that it was on mail. It was on the group mail. He looked at the program and he said, was this the conference you are talking about? Is it a very bad thing? Okay, well, not exactly a very bad thing. He said, this is a youth conference, but when I look at the people who are invited, they are not looking so youthful. Dr. I hope you are not trying to say that I'm an ancestor or something. But what makes me so hopeful is that the people who are now listening here, sitting in this conference, are so youthful. But you know, Dr. Paul, that was a significant challenge. You know, I picked it and I got it. But you must have courage to step forward. You must have courage. Let me read something. I had it in my book called. The challenge is for you to be courageous and step up. It's what he said. If I look at my own background, coming from broken family, a single mother, being the only black kid in the school that I went to in the UK, not going to the university, there is a whole lot of things that I can stack up and say are all the reasons I should not be doing the job I am doing today. If I had let them hold me back, I would still be working in a shop like I used to. Dave Bob, former Safaricom CEO. Shannon L. Algasine, Courage does not happen when you have all the answers. Courage does not happen when you have all the answers. It happens when you are ready to face the questions you have been avoiding your whole life. I call upon all of us to be courageous. Now I see he's doing this to me. It's supposed to mean I'm supposed to stop. So the clarion call I'm making to you, and this is what I would love for you to remember in the few words that I say. The clarion call. You are called to serve. The space of healthcare is a place for service. You are called to serve. Number two, you are called to lead. You are called to leadership. You know, they say you cannot lead people to a place where you have not been yourself. But they also say Lincoln said the best way of reading the way is reading the way by walking there. We need you to walk the way of leadership by demonstrating not only attitudeness and the desire to read them, but to do it with character and integrity. That is what is lacking in this country. That is what is lacking in Africa. By the way, what is lacking are not skills. It is not people with good education. It is people who have no character and people who have no ethics. The people who will change the space of healthcare are people who will have those traits. In conclusion, I would love to read the last words of Geoffrey Griffin, the founder of Salehe Boys Center. When 4 days before he passed on, these are the words he says. And these words are so true. Indeed, 2 years ago, I was having a training, a senior management training for Nairobi Hospital, and I read these, and the immediate former hospital matron said, I am the one who gave the pen and paper for Griffin to write these words. I was the nurse in charge of the place, his room when he passed on. She just, authenticated this. Me, I just got it from his, one of the writers that have been put in his autobiography. My dear boys, I have had a fruitful and happy life. And I have learned one great lesson that I would like to share with you. I hope that I will always teach this lesson. For as long as it does so, it will remain a great school. This world is full of people who do their duty half-heartedly, grudgingly, and poorly. Don't be like them. Whatever is your duty, do it as fully and perfectly as you can. And when you have finished your duty, go on to spare your time and talent in service for less fortunate people. Not for any reward whatsoever, but because it's the right thing to do. Follow my advice in these, and I promise you that your lives will be happy and successful. May God bless you all. Dr. Geoffrey W. Griffin, founder of Salehe Boys Center, June 24, 2005. 4 days after, June 28th, he passed on. That is my time.